It's caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the crossfire.
What is going on, guys? Captain Chase here, and welcome back to Chase Gaming. Been on a little bit of a hiatus from recording, and we are back today with NHL 17. We're going to do some franchise mode and start it up in the deadly waters of the San Jose Sharks. So let's get going with them. It's a win now type team that in the very near future is going to need some prospects to get them back into the limelight here. We're going to go ahead and turn off GM firing, coach edit, assistant coach edit lines, and morale meetings. Leave everything else on, as I like to have control over my finances, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. But just going to change up a few of the settings really quickly as well. 20 minutes, injuries off, and superstar, hard trade difficulty, and no relocation. So that should be everything that we need. We're going to start this career up. Get some work with the San Jose Sharks. So I know there's going to be some players we're probably going to want to trade here. Maybe not right away, but very soon. Patrick Marleau is on his last year of his deal, and he's making about $6 million on his contract right here. And you know, he's probably going to be retiring after the end of this season. We've also got Jumbo Joe Thornton, also 37 years old, going to be retiring likely at the end of the year, and if not, probably the year after. Got a couple of players that have making a little bit too much money, and we'll get to that once we get into this, as this is taking forever to load up. But here we go. We're finally in. Going to go ahead and take a look at the lines. You see there, 91 offense, 94 defense, and 88 goaltending. So saw that real quick. And then see here, first line of Thornton, Pavelski, and Bodker. So like I said, Thornton, 90 overall, 37 years old. Still got that exact top six potential. So likely not going to be declining here anytime soon. He's on his last year of his deal as well with a $6.47 million contract. So if we can get some decent value out of Joe Thornton, that would be very ideal. Also, we got Patrick Marleau, again, another $6 million contract. So that's where a lot of our money is tied up in, is Patrick Marleau and Joe Thornton. And again, last year of his deal, he's got the exact top 9 potential, so he's probably going to be declining as the season wears on. 37 years old, so we probably will, if we're not doing well, he's definitely going to be a type of trade we're going to make for either a good prospect and maybe like a second-round pick. Both of these guys to the same team, maybe. We'll see. Not sure. We've also got Pavelski here, who's also making about $6 million, but he's got 3 years left on his deal. 32 years old. Probably going to be just fine for the remainder of that contract. And we got Logan Couture, who he is our future first-line center. Just waiting on Thornton to get out of here. But like I said, we may be making that trade if we're not doing well at the deadline to move Thornton and Marleau for prospects. Also got Jannik Hansen on that second line, which I'm thinking about changing here to move Donskoy, who is... He's a high top 9 here, so we may move and we may keep him there. Something else I was thinking about was moving Thomas Hurdle up here to the second line to give him that potential. That's where he's supposed to be anyway. And I'm not sure who I would put on that third line at center, because Carlson's faceoffs are atrocious at 60. So really that's the only thing that's holding Malcolm Carlson back, is his faceoffs. I mean, if he could be playing wing and he'd be just fine, but I'm contemplating that as well, putting him on the wing. But Hansen, I'm thinking about moving down to the third line and allowing... You know what? I think I may do that. Might want to get some input from you guys, though, too. We've got a couple of guys that can take faceoffs. We've got Tierney, who can take faceoffs. Carlson's a righty anyway. We put him on that right side. And then we could move Joel Ward down here. Maybe move Donskoy up to the second line. He is a right-handed left winger, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I think, you know, we got a couple of righties there on the third line rather. But overall, I think we should be okay. Bodker, no, his faceoffs are pretty bad too. So it's looking like Marlowe's faceoffs are actually pretty good at 80 overall. So he's actually got better faceoffs than Couture does. So, but yeah, we'll try this out. Try to balance out the offense as best as we can for now, and we'll move on from there. But Haley's definitely going to be getting sent down to the AHL, as his overall doesn't seem likely to be enough to really push us above and beyond here. Taking a look at the defense, we do have 290 overall defensemen in Marc-Edouard Vlasic and Brent Burns. And Burnsy at 31 years old, he's got a pretty good sized contract there at $7.685 million for 9 years. So yeah, it's great that they signed into that long-term deal, but at 31 years old, you're looking to pay this guy $7 million until he's 40. Probably not going to be making it that far, as most of the time they have the players retire at 35 and around that age. But Vlasic we're paying for 2 years, and that contract is a really nice contract for a 91 overall defenseman in the middle of his prime. 2 years at $4.045 million, and that is a steal for that type of player. But again, a defensive defenseman, left-handed. We got Paul Martin here, 87 overall, 35 years old. On the decline maybe a little bit, but not too bad. He's still listed as a top 4 with exact top 4 potential, with amazing defensive stats, 90 defensive awareness and 88 shot blocking, 89 stick checking. So really good defenseman there for us on the second pair. Paired up there with Justin Braun, also listed as a top 4 defenseman and with that exact top 4 potential. 29 years old too. So the contract for both of these players, not too bad. That's what you would expect out of an 87 overall for Paul Martin there, about $4.5 million, and then about $3.5 million there for Braun at 86. So the downside is we're paying these guys this amount of money for the next 3 and 4 years respectively. And then on the third pair, we've got Brendan Dillon, another left-handed defensive defenseman, and that's something that's kind of a theme we have here in San Jose, is defensive defenseman galore. But Brendan Dillon, 25 years old, medium top 4 potential, listed as a top 4 defenseman as well at 84 overall. So you'd like to see him in that top 4 position, but right now it's looking like he's not going to be able to be there. The defensive awareness and defensive stats are very good. Shot power is pretty good as well at 87 for the slapper, 86 for the wrister. Passing's a little bit low, so honestly, it's not a bad thing that he's down there on the third pair. And he's there with David Schlemko, who also is a defensive defenseman. So like I said, we have 5 defensive defensemen here in our 6 players for the defense in the NHL. Brent Burns being the exception as a two-way defender with that crazy shot he's got. See there, 92 power on the slapper, 91 on the wrister, with that pretty good accuracy as well. He's very much an all-around defenseman. So that's good to see out of him. But yeah, Schlemko, kind of the weak spot in the defense, but not really, as he is listed as a top 6 defenseman, and his defensive stats are really good in that regard. So we'll probably end up keeping him at least through the end of his contract, because 4 years at about $2 million is pretty good for a top 6 defenseman. So not bad at all. And of course, everybody knows who we've got in net. We've got Martin Jones, medium elite, 26 years old, 87 overall, starting goaltender. And the stats there for him are really good, and he's definitely going to be here for a good part of this franchise. The backup, Aaron Dell, not good enough for us, though. We're probably going to end up dropping him down to the AHL just for the sake of doing so. He's probably not going to be doing a whole heck of a lot, maybe backing up our potential starter there that we're going to be having, as he's got exact potential. Take a look at the scratch players. We got Dylan DeMello at high 7th D. Then we've got Marcus Sorensen, 24 years old, 71 overall, probably not going to be doing a whole heck of a lot there for us. We've got Timo Meier, who is arguably our top prospect here, and right wing power forward, medium top 6, 19 years old. So, and the good thing about him is if we send him down, he's going to be able to play in the AHL, as he is a Swiss-born player. So see what happens here with that, and we're gonna end up sending him down to the AHL. Taking a look at the AHL real quick, we are gonna have Nick Spalling, who is gonna come up and replace the 4th line there, the Michael Haley. He's either gonna be taking faceoffs instead of Tierney, or he's going to be on the left wing. I believe he is left-handed, so we can put him there if we need be. Yeah. Okay, so regardless, he's going to be on that fourth line. Defensive stats are not too bad for that fourth line, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We've also got Barclay Goodrow, who is a medium bottom six power forward on the left wing. So maybe seeing him in a couple of years on that fourth line or the third, maybe, depends. He's listed as a fourth line forward now, but I don't think that he's going to be good enough for us right now, as we do have Spalling there and at an 81 overall. Really, that's about all we have. We have a couple of AHL top 6 guys, and we do have Noah Rod, a center grinder, at 71 overall, 20 years old though, medium bottom 6, and we do have Adam Haluka there at 21 years old, 68 overall, so he's probably not going to be able to make it to the potential of bottom 6. If he does, it's going to be the very bottom of the fourth line, maybe our last, like our 12th forward or whatever. Like I said, the rest of the guys, not really a whole lot to write home about for them there. And yeah, for the forward core, it's going to be looking a little bit lax. But we'll touch on that in a couple of minutes. But we do have, oh, that's not the right one. Defensively, we do have Mirko Mueller down here as well. Medium top 4 defenseman, 21 years old, 81 overall. Still growing, and he's got some decent defensive stats, especially for an AHL player. 4.5 stars on the defense. The shooting category still has a little bit to grow there for the accuracy, but the shot power is pretty good. And, if we didn't have Schlemko and we didn't have the depth that we have up there in the NHL, he would definitely be on the bottom pair. But alas, we have the depth that we have right now. So, yeah, he'll be starting out down here in the AHL. And I believe the only other one we have is Julius Bergman at medium top 6. We do have this high AHL top 2. He's 23 years old, 76 overall. He could continue to grow. We're going to keep him there on the top pair for now and see what we can do. And actually, no, we may, because he's left-handed, move him down and move Bergman up and just do a little bit of movement here. And we also will have DeMello coming down as well, so that's going to throw a wrench into some of the plans as well. But, yeah, that's going to be looking pretty good here, as we don't really have, like I said, a heck of a lot other than that. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the goaltending situation, and we have Mantis Armalis, who's a medium AHL starter, butterfly-type goaltender. 24 years old, though, probably not going to be growing a whole lot. And like I said, behind Jonesy, we don't have a whole lot. So it's going to probably be a situation where we're going to have to go out and sign a backup goaltender. And I believe there is one on the market in Ray Emery. And we'll probably be trying to get a starter down here in the AHL as well to alleviate that, both of those players being 73 overall. So taking a look at the scratch players just to make sure we don't have anybody in there with potential. We've got a couple of high AHL top 6 forward and a top 2 defenseman, so a couple of greens, but really nothing to write home about. Like I said, I mean, not too much on the prospect line. I mean, this team is in a win now situation. They're listed as a contender, I believe, so we'll have to see what we can do there. First things first, we are going to make a couple of roster moves and dropping those players down to the AHL. So we're going to go ahead and jump to the managed rosters and be able to do that real quick. I really want to get it so that we have Meyer getting a lot of time down there in the AHL. So he's probably going to be on the power play, among other things, and just starting on that top line. So we're going to drop those 3 down real quick. And then we're also going to drop down DeMello. And that will give us about $3 million in cap space until we bring up Spalling, who I believe has about $2 million. Yeah, he's got a $2.2 million contract here, and he is going to jump up to the NHL and play on the 4th line. So that's going to leave us with about $2.1 million in cap room. And I don't like playing this close to the max cap, because if you need some sort of a rental player towards the trade deadline, it's really hard to make things work, but we'll find a way to make it work regardless. We do have Spalling here. We're going to sub him in all the lines. I believe it was just the 4th line there that we had him listed for. And then figure out, I think Tierney and Spalling have the same face-offs. Yeah, they do. So we're going to let Tierney take the face-offs as he's younger. We want to try to develop him a little bit better. make sure he's playing to his full potential. He's listed as a depth forward, and I'm hoping we can get him to grow throughout the course of this season. Joel Ward is kind of being there as that veteran guy who can score the goals for them when they need them scored, but overall it's looking like this is going to hopefully be a decently defensive fourth line, and that's kind of what we need there. Defensively, like I said, we're going to keep it right the way it is. It looks pretty good. And then I think the next item on the agenda is to make sure that the lines here look good as well. I think Gaudreau had some no, it wasn't Gaudreau. Who was it? LeBlanc. LeBlanc was the one that had good face-offs. Yeah. We're going to put him there. We're going to drop in Timo Meier here, substituting all the lines. We're going to have to do a little bit of work there, but we'll get them all sorted out. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and go best lines here. It's not really going to do what I want it to do, so we might have to do a little bit of moving around. Let's see. Myers got 73 face-offs. Yeah, we're gonna want Kevin LeBlanc up there. Unless there's somebody better. I don't think that there is, though. I think LeBlanc is going to be the best option for first line center. Yeah. Yeah, he is. Taking a look at down here, it's looking like that's fine. Haley's faceoffs are pretty good, right? Yeah, Haley's faceoffs are really good, actually. We'll move Colin Blackwell over here to the right wing for that third line. Is he... I'm going to go ahead and move Buddy Robinson up here as well. Keep Blackwell on that fourth line, although he is a playmaker. And actually, I think I'm going to move up Haley to the second line as well. And then move LeBlanc here to the first line and have O'Regan, the right-hander. He's a right-hander. Do I want to switch those two? He does have that high AHL top 6, although he is 22 years old. There's not really a whole lot we can do with that. We'll just leave it like that for now. He is a centerman, but we're going to have Haley taking the face-off. 75 face-offs is just a bit better, and I just rather would have that. I'd like to get Kevin LeBlanc going there. 75 overall, 20 years old, a high AHL top 6. So if we can get him into the bottom 6, that'd be great. Two-way forward. I mean, defensive stats still need to grow, but the shooting category pretty good. And even if we can get him onto the third line at like an 82 or 83 overall, that'd be great. But we'll see what we can do with him. Defensively, I think it's going to be rather Mueller and DeMello. DeMello is a righty. We got Bergman with Ryan, who is a lefty, and then Dan Kelly, who that doesn't make sense, but we'll fix it here in a second. I think we had another 70 overall. I thought we did. Maybe we don't. Yeah, we don't, unfortunately. So it's looking like Dan Kelly's going to be that guy on the third pair, working with Tim Heed, who is an offensive defenseman. So really the biggest thing that we need as a team is we need some offensive defensemen, and we need a goaltender to fall in behind Martin Jones. I know in the first and second year draft there's a couple of really good goaltenders that we could pick up, and if they're still available when the time comes to draft, we may go ahead and do that. But if we're a really good team and we wind up getting into the end of the season and we have like the second to last draft pick in the first round, I don't think we're going to be able to get one of those goaltenders. We may have to settle for a medium backup or something like that, or high backup, something that won't necessarily be a solid goaltender for us. But those are what the lines are going to look like. And for the team, it's looking like that will be fine. We're going to have to add in, of course, Emery and whoever we decide to pick up in free agency is. I'm going to go ahead and take a look and make sure that he is, in fact, there. No, not UFA. I'm looking for this. Goaltenders. No, he is a UFA, though. But yeah, Ray Emery there. 81 overall, 33 years old. Looks like he's the best option that we have for a backup goaltender, and really it's the only option we have for the backup goaltender. So we're going to go ahead and sign him to a $1.2 million for 1 year. I might even look to get him for 2. Yeah, I'm going to try to get him for... I'll go for 1 because he may decide to retire at the end of the year, and I don't want to have to worry about it. But if if we can find a backup goaltender that's better than him next season, that'd be very open to that idea. But we'll go ahead and sign him to that $1.2 million. Now, the next option is we could go for either Poulin, who's 26 years old, 76 overall, go for Peterson Wenzel here, who's a low AHL starter, but 25. Or we could just go ahead and say, nope, we're going to go ahead and go with the best goaltender here, which would be Scrivens. And I've been leaning towards Scrivens just because I would rather have that veteran presence in the locker room for the team. You know, he's played in the NHL before, and he has that type of experience going into a team that needs to be building. But so I'm thinking I'm going to sign him to a 1-year deal worth $750K. So that would be good for us and good for him. Gives him a little bit of money there towards the end of his career. It's not looking like he's going to be doing a whole heck of a lot in the NHL anytime soon. And it'll give him some time to really guide our AHL team. And who knows, they may find themselves late in the postseason. Maybe they'll win the Calder Cup. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get those guys locked into a contract. So we'll skip a few days. And owner goals. We'll take a look at the owner goals real quick. So, yeah, we are listed as a contender here. I want us to earn at least 78% of the $21.5 million expected profit. Okay. Sell 90% of the available suites. Okay. Concessions need an upgrade. All right. And we need more parking for the arena. So that's something. Those are two things we can take care of immediately. And, in fact, I'm going to go that route right now. So there's one thing that needs to be maintained rather, and that's going to be the bathrooms. We're going to go ahead and hit that as well. So repair. Then it was the parking lot needs to be upgraded. So we'll upgrade the parking lot. And we'll upgrade concessions, which those both needed to be upgraded. So there we go. Those are done. So once we skip a day, we're going to get a decent amount of money for our budget. So let's go ahead and skip it. Owner goals. That is a $15K for the parking and $20K for the concessions. So that's another $35K that we can deal with. And now we're going to do a quick scouting assignment. So we're going to start in the WHL with forwards for 6 weeks. Now we're on to the budget, which is one thing that I always do, and it's drop the promotions to the minimum, drop the advertising to the minimum, and push arena operations. Because it's really difficult to do anything in the arena and keep it maintained and keep your fan happiness up if you don't have as much budget in it as you can. So we're going to go ahead and do that, save that budget. And fan happiness is sometimes important. So as you can see there, we already have 92 offense, 94 defense, and 88 goaltending. So that switch from Haley to Spalling has helped us out that regard. Go ahead and advance a couple more days. Promotions I'm not too concerned about. I'll go ahead and auto-assign those. Advance another day. So Ray Emery has accepted our offer, and he will be backing up Martin Jones. We got Scrivens also accepting. He will be our AHL starting goaltender this season. Just going to have to update manage the rosters, rather, update the lines as well. So roster moves. We're going to have to move Aaron Dell back down to the AHL. And we'll move Ray Emery up. Dell there in the system. Emery, you're coming up, buddy. Go ahead and confirm that. Okay. Let's go to edit lines and switch that up real quick. And go to goaltending. Go ahead and put Emery in as our backup. Go to the AHL rather, excuse me. Go to the goaltenders there, and we're gonna have Ben Scrivens as our starting goaltender. I got to figure out which one has the potential. So Mantis Armalis is the one with the potential. So he's going to be the guy backing up our starting goaltender, Ben Scrivens, down there in the AHL. Try to get him a little bit better. Maybe he can become our full-time AHL starter next season if he builds himself up enough. I'm assuming that Scrivens will be taking a majority of the starts there in the AHL, though. Hopefully we can do well this season. So regarding contracts, I don't really know if there's any that we really need to move right now. Like I said, Marleau and Thornton seem to be the two that really stand out to me that need to be moved potentially at the deadline if we're doing poorly. I don't think that this team will be doing poorly, though. Seems like this team is a team that will go off. But, I mean, who knows? You know, we may find ourselves in a pretty bad situation here where, you know, Marlowe's deteriorating, Thornton deteriorating, and we may be getting our butts handed to us. But defensively, I mean, we shouldn't have that situation where all of these guys are extremely good. So we'll just have to wait and see as the season rolls on. So with that, guys, I'm going to take this time to go ahead and end the video, and hopefully we will get some simulating done next time. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments section, and I will catch you guys on the flip side as we get this franchise mode started up.
I got broads in Atlanta, she's at the lean, the family, credit cards in the scammers, hitting the licks in the van.